My boss tried to make my girlfriend his personal assistant, so I assisted him into a personal disaster. My boss Keith was the kind of man who leaned back in his leather chair during meetings, openly rating female employees like cattle. He rated Cindy a 6 and said she's only good for one night. He called Kendall a 7 and told her to start putting in more effort if she wants a man. Macy was a 10, and he told everyone how he'd make her his personal assistant. But then he turned his eyes towards my girlfriend, Janet, and shamelessly lusted after her. The harassment started small when Janet began picking me up from work. Keith would watch from his office window as she waited in the parking lot, then comment the next day about her legs, her smile, how lucky I was that a woman like that would date an accountant making 60 grand. When Janet came to the company picnic, Keith spent the entire time hovering near us, complimenting her dress, touching her shoulder when he laughed, asking if she'd ever considered upgrading to management material. But the real escalation came when he started targeting Janet directly. He'd call my desk right when she arrived to pick me up, keeping me on pointless conference calls while she waited outside, and he talked to her non-stop. He somehow got her number and started texting work updates that were really just excuses to tell her how impressive she looked that day. When she blocked him, he switched to Instagram, liking every photo going back months. Then he started sending her threatening messages. Things like, if you don't reply to me, then your little boyfriend might be out of a job. He even showed up to her workplace one day and introduced himself as Janet's husband. The breaking point came when he sent letters to our house asking Janet to sleep with him for money. We had decided to move on and leave Keith in our past when his letter showed up. Inside it, he said, come to this address tonight and I'll give you $400. That's more than you're worth anyway. If you don't show up, then I'll keep sending you letters but lower the price. That was it. If this guy wanted to harass others so badly, then I'll give him a taste of that harassment too. I knew going to HR would be useless. Keith played golf with the CEO, had been with the company 20 years, and had a reputation for making problems disappear. But he had one weakness, and that was his marriage to Paige, a woman from old money whose father practically funded Keith's early career. She wore the pants in the relationship, controlled all the social connections, and everything Keith used to feel powerful. So I crafted a plan that would hit him where it hurt. I hired an actress friend from college, Jasmine, who did theater and occasional prank calls for extra cash. The plan was simple. She'd show up at Keith's house during his Saturday golf game when only Paige would be home, dressed like an escort and claiming Keith had hired her but forgotten to mention he'd be out. She'd have fake text messages, a bogus payment app showing a transaction from Keith, and just enough details about him to seem legitimate. So on Saturday at 2 p.m., Jasmine rang Keith's doorbell in a tight red dress and heels. Paige answered with a confused face, so Jasmine laid everything out right away. Hi, I'm Cece. Keith hired me for the afternoon and said to come by at 2. Paige's face went from confusion to suspicion instantly, and she asked, hired you for what? Jasmine pulled out her phone, showing fake text screenshots. Keith's work phone had been texting her things like, can't wait to see you Saturday, baby, and same rate as last time. Paige's face went pale, so Jasmine acted embarrassed and apologetic. Oh my god, did he not tell you? He said you had an arrangement. I'm so sorry. As Paige stood there processing, Jasmine added the killing blow. He usually has me come by during golf and said you never check his Saturday transactions. Paige finally slammed the door, and Jasmine texted me a thumbs up before driving away. An hour later, my phone exploded with texts from my coworkers telling me something was going on. Keith had stormed out of the country club after getting an angry call from Paige, looking white as a ghost. On Monday morning, Keith wasn't in his corner office, and his assistant told everyone he was taking personal time out. Well, that personal time would stretch on for 3 more weeks, and Keith would return 20 pounds lighter with his wedding ring gone. He slept in the office that day because Paige had kicked him out and changed the locks, but also frozen his bank accounts. The divorce papers were served at work the next day. Paige wanted and took half of everything plus alimony worth $100,000. To her, it didn't matter that Keith's bank account had no evidence. She was done with him regardless. Keith never figured out who it was that sent Cece to her house. His beard just kept getting bigger, and he fell into depression, after which the company demoted him to the position of an accountant.